Welcome in. I am the crypto bull god, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment. You got to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. I hope everyone is having a better day than I. I am not one to complain. That is not who I am as a person, but I'm definitely having one of those days. I'm getting a little bit of it right now. I'm having a heavy dose of having a rough day in many respects. So glad to have a distraction. Glad to come into the live stream and kind of assess what's going on in the markets. I really haven't had an opportunity to take a hard look at charts today. So we will. What we will do is, as always, we will take a look at the Bitcoin charts. I'll kind of share with you what I'm seeing in the charts. Although I don't think, based on some of the price action that we've seen today, not too much has changed. Not too much has changed. Still waiting for what I'm anticipating to be some volatility coming into the market to the downside, I believe. And I clearly communicated, if you guys haven't taken this video, it's really interesting, actually. I'm noticing, you can tell as a content creator that I genuinely put out the content, that it's a mix. It's sort of what I believe my community would like. And it's also a mix of, at the end of the day, what I think will be most helpful to benefit my community. And the reason I say that is, it's interesting. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see a video like this, which in my opinion is a critical video for everyone to tune into. It has not gotten a lot of views so far. I think it's at let me see here. I'm still at sub 100 views on this video. So this video has not done well, and I know a lot of that also has to do with the market. But you look at a video like the Caspa community, guys, I appreciate the love and support. I put out a video on Caspa. I always get 500 plus views on those videos. So it's very, very interesting. So clearly what that's telling you is, since I still choose to put out Bitcoin videos, even though they haven't been getting a ton of views, I'm really putting out the content I think will be most helpful for you guys. By the way, you can find me on YouTube, TradingView, Twitter, as well as even Instagram. It's one word. It's Crypto Bull God. Let me get into some comments here. DJ Natronic, welcome in. Damn, we even had a countdown going on. Thank you. I'm glad you are much more enthusiastic than me this evening. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so one point of clarification, DJ. I did not say $19,000 was incoming. What I did say in the video is I identified my primary region that I'm looking for, but I also identified a lower price range that I identified as a capitulation flash crash sort of price zone. And that 19.5 or 19.6 was within that price area. So make sure you didn't miss that. You might want to go back to the video and make sure that you accurately captured what I was communicating in that video. Zilliqa and Harmony One. I have a fat stack of Harmony One. I've been a huge supporter of that project for a long time. Don't have any Zilliqa. Main ones, you're riding into the bull market already. So for everyone new tuning in, look at DJ's last comment here. He clicked the bell, but it didn't notify him of when I was going live. YouTube is a little bit tricky. When you click the bell icon, you have to select all notifications. So, when I go to a channel and I want to subscribe, like I'm sure most people are here subscribed to like Cryptos R Us, right? So if I click the bell icon, when you select it, it's either all, personalized, none, or unsubscribe. All right, so if I unsubscribe for a moment, I just unsubscribed. If I subscribe and then click the drop down, I have to click all. And you should see a bell icon come up with ringing things, motions above it. Okay, so just make sure you click the bell icon for all notifications. At some point when my YouTube channel gets a little bit more fancy, I'll have it like some of those channels do, where the animation comes up and it shows you clicking, and then it shows the drop down and it clicks all for notifications. I'm not that fancy yet. We're getting there. We'll see where the channel is at in 3.5, 4 months by year end. Black oil is in the fucking house. Welcome in, my friend. Jorge making a guest appearance. Welcome in. Ricky, I missed your comment. What's up, my friend? Glad to see you in here as well. Guys, let's get into the charts. I think for today, there'll be plenty of time for Q&A. Plenty of time for Q&A today. Not too much. Not too much has changed. We're looking at the 12-hour here. We still have this bullish divergence in play for the 12-hour. I still think it's very possible the bullish divergence could play out. You know, maybe we get a little bit nice bounce here up to 27.5 or 28.2. But I still see, based on that video I put out yesterday, I still see a high likelihood, very high likelihood, that we're going to see downside volatility this month. And who knows, it could bleed into October. But I am, and no, I didn't spell this out in the video, but I'm leaning towards this month. Also because September happens to be not the best of months if you go back in time. But again, if you really take to heart everything that I communicated in that video, if we do see the downside capitulation or flash crash or volatility, whatever word that you want to use, once price action does occur that I'm anticipating, I don't anticipate prices staying down there long. That was one thing I hit on in the video, is I do see a swift drop in price, but a swift recovery as well. And the reason that I highlighted in that video that I had opted for the thumbnail to be sinister is because it does, September, in my opinion, is going to prove to be a sinister month for those that get emotional with their investments and don't know what they're doing, versus it being a really big opportunity for those that are unemotional, logical, and evaluate sensical areas to buy in at. So we'll have to see how the month plays out. We'll have to see how it plays out. But you can see right now on this 12-hour, what I don't like to see, you see that now, not only the 50 has crossed below the 200 on the 12-hour, notice what price is doing. You see how price is following the 50 down? We attempted to bounce up. It's acting as resistance, and we're starting to go down, right? Wouldn't surprise me if we come up to this level and then roll back over. So just have to keep an eye on it. It's hard. I've said this much to you guys in the past before. We spoke about this yesterday. It's hard when there isn't an exciting day. Of course, it is an exciting day for the Caspa community, which I will hit on. It's hard when you come out here and there's not a ton of price action to speak to. Not a lot of excitement in the markets. What have traditional markets done? Nothing. Down a half a point, 3/4 of a point. Not a lot. I mean, quite honestly, nothing really has changed in the chart. So I think what I want to do, I mean, we could spend time talking about the daily. I'm just going to regurgitate the same gobbledygook that I've done for the past few days. I think what will be more value added for you guys, let's take a look at the one runner today in Caspa real quick. And then also, I want to take a look at a few charts that we have not, WLD, oh, is that WorldCoin? Let's take a look at a few charts that we haven't taken a look at in a while, okay? So first, let's pull up Caspa here. So and I tweeted this out today. I had recorded a video on Monday, released it on Tuesday, talking about how, I was actually looking to this week and I was choosing my words carefully, but this week, as early as this week, for the potential Bybit listing. One day later, on Wednesday, boom, recorded Monday, released Tuesday, on Wednesday, Bybit officially announced that they have listed Caspa, which is awesome. So one of the things I had tweeted out, never chase a trend, guys. Never, ever, ever chase this. You missed it. So what you want to do is you want to identify sensical areas that Caspa is going to pull back to, because I find it highly unlikely. I find it highly unlikely that what Caspa is going to do at this point is just continue moving up with no pullbacks, guys. We're going to have some pullbacks, so you have to identify sensible areas that we're going to pull back to. Now, it's nice to see that in this falling wedge, which might be the broader pattern within a cup and handle, that we have broken out. I probably don't need to tell you guys, if you've been here for a while, one of the most common areas, which would be very bullish that we could pull back to, is this prior descending resistance acting as support. I think anything between 3.5 and 3.27 cents is very sensical, even as high as 3.7 cents. And again, that would take you in this golden zone. I identified this golden zone. So far, this golden buy opportunity has played out literally perfect for Caspa. But I do plan on putting out an updated video in terms of my expectations on Caspa's price in the shorter to intermediate term. But I want to allow price to develop this week. So look for that video to come out either by this weekend or at latest by Monday. It might be by Monday, but I'll go into a little bit more of an in-depth analysis in terms of what I'm expecting. And again, I already put some USD on Uphold. That is the platform I'm using to purchase Caspa. I already put some USD on Uphold and have a buy limit order in there, one buy limit order currently. I apologize for the interruption in connection. I think what I'm going to do from now on is I am going to I'm going to pause my VPN when I'm going live because NordVPN is being a bitch lately. I ran into this yesterday, was hot into the live stream, and I started having connection issues. And this hasn't happened before. VPN strikes again. Yeah, you're right. So I paused it. We'll see if that should correct the issue, but I'll make sure to make a mental note that I will disconnect the VPN every time I go live. Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying was that I already have a buy limit order set in Uphold, and I plan on putting additional capital in this month for buy limit orders on Bitcoin, some more on Caspa. I'm looking to accumulate. I already have a decent stack, but I'm looking to really significantly increase my position in Caspa, as well as Casper. I don't have a high enough position in Casper, in my opinion, and I really am looking to essentially double my position. So whatever my position is in Casper, I'm looking to double that this month. Who knows, maybe by next month. But looking to double my position on Casper as well. So those are the three main projects I'm looking at. Now, in terms of other charts that we can take a look at, you can see I have some things up on Caspa. You know, a few charts that we haven't taken a look at here together, guys. Oh, Track's in the house. What's up, everybody? Glad to see you in. We have not taken a look at the total market cap, total 2, total 3. We have not taken a look at that together as a group. So let's take a look at that. This is this is total 2. I didn't want to start with that, actually. This might be it. This is on a 2-week chart. Yeah, and you can see based on the way these candlesticks are printing, I mean, I can only tell you what the chart is saying. And, you know, I never want you guys to, again, we've just broken out of this massive falling wedge. Massive, you could also argue a bull pennant. Here is the pole. Here is the pennant. We've just broken out. And I've shared with you guys on this channel before, just because a pattern begins to break to the upside, in this case, a bullish pattern begins to break to the upside, it doesn't mean immediate gratification. As my brother and I call my cousin, instant gratification. Instant gratification boy, IGB. There's a story with that, a backdrop. But we don't get instant gratification necessarily from the charts. It can take a little bit of time until the price action still validates the pattern and begins to break up, right? Nothing has invalidated this pattern in terms of this being a bull pennant / falling wedge. Right now what's going on is there's just been consolidation, and prices, with the chip chop that price is doing right now, I mean, honestly, what do you think price is doing for most people right now? It's frustrating people, okay? That is what price is doing. The market has an interesting way of weeding people out. It's very, very, very important to stay level-headed and grounded and never, ever forget why you're invested in this space. Has anything materially changed in terms of why you're invested in this space? Has anything materially changed on your value proposition for the projects that you're invested in? Has anything materially broken within the charts? And if the answer to those questions are no, then you need to remain patient. Again, timing on the markets is the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to anticipate. But what I wanted to say earlier is, and I'm clearly making this distinction within the Bitcoin video that just dropped today, I need everyone to really keep in mind that there's a difference between remaining bullish from a macro perspective, but being bearish in the shorter to intermediate time frame, right? And bearish meaning, I mean, it's bullish for my portfolio if I think prices are going to drop that low and I still have a macro bullish perspective, so I'm bullish in that way, but bearish in terms of what I'm anticipating for prices in the shorter to mid-term. Now, I have had people share with me, well, you know, I see what you're saying, but everyone's calling for downside. And there is truth. You never want to find yourself in the higher majority, because quite oftentimes it pays off to be a contrarian. However, what I would offer to the person who's sharing that feedback with me, that CBG, don't you pause for a moment and think to yourself, we might not see downside this month because most are calling for it. Here's the distinction in what I'm saying. There are a lot of people that are coming out and calling for what I believe are unrealistic price targets. I had stated in the video yesterday, there was some ass clown calling for 3,000 to 5,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so I am not in the camp that is calling for some serious bear market or massive correction at this point. I don't think that the market's just going to roll over and we're headed significantly lower. That is not what I see in the charts. That's not what I've shared with you guys. There is a camp that is bearish at the moment, but it's more big picture, macro, right? They think Bitcoin's going to sub $15,000. It's going to 10, it's going to 12, it's going to 5 or 3, right? I am not in that camp. I am more bearish in the shorter to intermediate term, and I clearly lay out the price zones that I'm watching for, which I view as an opportunity because I still am waiting for this impulsive wave movement up, and I'm waiting for euphoria. Keep in mind, if you really truly do believe we need a news catalyst, which I do not believe, I believe everything is in the charts, but if you really are waiting for that news catalyst, keep in mind that everyone and their mother is waiting for this ETF approval to occur next year. What that tells me is either one of two things, okay? Certainly it's a possibility everyone could be correct and we get the ETF approval right before the halving. And I could see that scenario. You get the ETF approval, you get people watch for this because this will happen. Bitcoin is shooting off much higher than people anticipated going into the halving. You know, we're closing in on $100,000, and people are now calling for a super cycle. That is the point when you want to start to become very weary that the market is becoming overheated. That's one indicator. I told you guys I'm going to release my 3 to 5 things I'm looking for. Market sentiment is one of them. When everyone's calling for a market super cycle, Bitcoin to 250,000, Bitcoin to 300, 500,000, that's the point where the market is becoming way too overheated. So that scenario could play out. You could have those news catalyst events feeding into some euphoria, which will play out into the charts. I see that. But the contrarian in me says, okay, well, if that's what everyone is anticipating, what about the scenario where we get the ETF approval this year? What if BlackRock is the first one to be approved, and on the next decision date, which is October 17th, they're approved? I had tweeted about this. What if the ETF is not approved? What if it's just rejected next year? That's also a scenario that no one is talking about. Everyone thinks it's a foregone conclusion that the ETF is going to be approved. While I would tend to agree, I'm just saying there is a probability it just gets denied. The decision is pending, and it just gets denied. But I think being a contrarian, the view I would take is perhaps it gets approved sooner than people are thinking. Wouldn't it shock everyone? Wouldn't it shock, like the shock master? Wouldn't it shock everyone if the ETF was approved in October? We shall see. But looking at the total, we're chipping and chopping around. This is on the weekly. We got this, sorry for jumping around here. We got this heavy band of horizontal resistance. You can see when we were above it, it acted as support by these blue circles. Now that we're below it, it's acting as resistance. I'm not getting excited about the entire space within crypto until we're above. This is actually an area you want to look for. When you go to CoinMarketCap, okay, right now, our total, okay, right now, we're sitting at just over 1 trillion, which, by the way, in terms of dollars, that is such a small market cap for every single cryptocurrency project that's out there. That's insane to think about that we're this small. But anyway, we're only 1 trillion in total size right now. When this number gets up to 1.34, that's when you need to start getting excited. That's what I've identified here, 1.34. When we get a candle body weekly close above 1.34, what have we done? We have erased all of this price action. All of this price action, we are now above, okay? And now we just have to get above this price action, okay? That is why I am so bullish once we get a weekly close above 1.34. We will be smashing and breaking major areas of price confluence on this chart once the entire cryptocurrency market cap is 1.34, which it's roughly 30%. It's actually less than 30%. So but when the entire market moves up by 28.8%, okay, just shy of 30%, just like I said, I'm the mathematician, right? 28.8%. So when the entire market starts to move up greater than 28.8%, which sounds like a lot, but for this industry, for this market, it is not a lot, okay? Bitcoin, of course, is going to lead the charge, followed by your altcoins. For those of you, and I've repeated this several times, for those of you who have not been here during peak periods, like if you weren't here in 2021, if you weren't here in 2017, I was not here invested in 17. The most euphoria I saw was 2021. So if you weren't here in 2021 and you didn't experience what this was like, you are in for quite the show when this market does pick up. But right now, that's what I see on price. Now, if we go to the price indicators themselves, again, not healthy to see this MACD curling back down. We're below zero, which isn't good. Stochastic RSI is all the way at zero. There's no momentum in this thing. I want to see this thing realistically curl back up and get above 20 by October, okay? This entire month, I think, is going to be, in some ways, a shit show, but in some ways, massive opportunity. I mean, that's why I've been signaling to you guys I am deploying more capital this month. I believe this month is going to present a lot of opportunity if you're patient and you know what you're doing. Chris, greetings from France. Welcome in. We've never had anyone from France here declared. Welcome in. Glad to have you a part of the show. What else do we have here? I was staking, DJ. I'm currently not staking. Liquidity mining, no. I'm currently not staking, although I'm looking to restake at least one of my projects. Well, technically I am staking. I am technically staking my my Flare tokens, which are fucking worthless at the moment. I was gonna tweet out something comical. My Flare balance continues to rise in tokens, but depreciate in USD value. What is going on? Dumpster fire GIF in the background. It's the only one I'm staking at the moment, but not at the moment, my friend. The SEC is on a losing streak. They've certainly had pie in their face many a time. So we will have to see if that continues. Thumbs up to everyone new tuning in. Introduce yourself if you are new to the live stream. Is DT in the house? Is DT enjoying a nice cup of coffee? Is he in the house? I could see October 17th or March 2024. I think the SEC is running out of excuses to not approve and now lost a great... Yeah, I think losing that grayscale court case was a major blow. I think the most major blow that the SEC has suffered was losing that Ripple case. I always felt that when that Ripple case, when the decision came out, you know, and I was following Jeremy Hogan very closely. If you're not following him on YouTube and Twitter, shout out to Jeremy. You need to give him a follow. But he did a really good job covering the court case, and I always felt that it wouldn't go 100% in Ripple's favor, which it did not, but that the majority would go in its favor enough that the fact that XRP itself would not be declared a security. And when that came through, and the way that decision came through, that was the biggest decision that will benefit this market moving forward, in my opinion. That was a huge win for the industry. Bonjour, Chris. You threw up this morning from price. Evan, look, let's not be so dramatic, all right? I almost vomited this morning from my leg workout. That's what guys, this morning, just to diverge from charts for a moment, we're going to take a look at Total 2 next in the altcoin market. You know, I sort of enjoy days where I have a deload day, what I call a deload day, where I back off the weight, increase the volume, the repetitions, and generally the sets as well, but the repetitions increase, the breaks between sets as a result decrease as well. But I have to tell you, some of the most difficult workouts that I have are on deload days. I had a brutal leg workout this morning, and I was not feeling it. For whatever reason, I felt tired this morning. I did 5 sets of 10 on back squat, which is fucking brutal. Lifting off on 3 of the 4 breaks at 75 seconds, and then the last one was 90 seconds. But that was brutal. And then 4 sets of 8 on good mornings, quick breaks. 4 sets of 8 on deficit lunges. Those were the worst. Oh my God, that was brutal this morning. It was awful. I was dying. Did some pause leg extensions, couple sets of those, 8 sets of calf raises with some ab work in between. It was a brutal, and then of course sprints and cardio. It was, of course, because everybody does that. It was a brutal workout this morning. Brutal workout. So I was almost vomiting this morning, Evan. That is true sickness right there. Okay, Chris has a question here. What do you think about El Capo's prediction of Bitcoin at 12,000 and then up? Well, I commented on this early. I think you joined the live stream late, so I'll repeat what I had stated earlier. I do not think that's going to happen. So a couple comments there, just to reiterate this for everyone new tuning in. There is a probability for everything, right? And I think the best thing that you can do is be very open to logical, contrarian views to your own. You have to be open to that. It's one of the best ways you can learn. If someone has a counter view to your own, there's something to learn from that. Now, there's a difference between that and someone just coming at you for the sake of coming at you and they have no educational foundation behind it. But if someone is coming at you with an alternative viewpoint, take it as an opportunity to learn. Okay, it's one of the best things that you can do. Now, in this case, I believe that the 12,000 call will not happen. What you have to understand is that if that were to happen, it would completely invalidate the entire Elliott wave structure that has formed since technically, I believe, December of 2018. January, February of 19, but December, I think, because we bottomed in December. So technically December of 18. It would invalidate that entire macro structure. And what I was saying earlier is I am monumentally bullish macro. I believe we're still waiting for a 5th impulsive wave, which we will see much quicker and sooner than people think early next year. Okay, going into the halving, if not right around the halving or shortly right after the halving. I believe that is my view. But I am more bearish just in the short to intermediate term. Okay, but the correction levels that I indicated, Chris, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for all notifications. You have to click all notifications. Make sure that you watch the Bitcoin video that was just released today. Quick video, it goes over my own personal price targets, which are pretty substantially higher than 12,000. So I would check that out. Do I think it's better to work out? You know, I was thinking the market has been so slow lately that I might do 1 live stream a week until things pick up, just maybe diverging from crypto and maybe talking a little health and fitness, because it seems that some people have an interest in that area. It is my greatest passion in life. I do think I have something to offer there, so maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Do you think it's better to work out in the morning or afternoon? What I would say is there is no cookie cutter approach. I think everybody's body responds differently to activity levels at different points in the day. I have read, however, that if you ideally can fit it in your day, the absolute best time to work out is midday. So that actually would make the argument that I remember reading this a while ago that the best time to work out is actually afternoon. For me, though, I love working out in the morning, first thing. For the most part, I do get some work done early in the morning. But I love working out first thing in the morning for two reasons. One, it gets it out of the way because as the day continues on, things come up with work. Whatever the case is, things can come up and then you might not be able to make it to the gym, right? So get it out of the way. Two, I feel incredible afterwards. The endorphins are going. I generally always have a really good workout. It's all about your perspective in terms of how your workout went. It depends how you look at it, but generally I always have a great workout, you know? And so it gets my day off to a good start, and I'm very productive early in the day. You know, it's funny because you change over time as you age in terms of your preferences and how your day operates. I used to be very much a late night person, not an early morning person. That changed pretty quickly once I got into my actuarial exams. But my favorite part of the day is actually early. Mornings, early afternoons. I actually prefer to get together with friends if I'm going out, even if I'm going out on a date, to be honest. I prefer doing it like midday. I am not the person to get changed and go out at 9 o'clock at night. I would love to be ending my evening around 9 o'clock at night, maybe 10. But I just am not a late night person. That's just not who I am. I don't prefer that. Not to say it doesn't happen once in a while. Sometimes you're having a really good time. You're out somewhere. Yeah, hell, I'll come home at 11 or 12. But those times don't happen very often for me personally. Capo went silent for months. He was calling 12,000 the whole rip to 32. Guys, make sure, I don't want you to follow. I have two suggestions on who to follow for technical analysis. One, don't just follow me. Okay, so hopefully there are other people who you do listen to for alternative viewpoints on technical analysis. I think I add a lot of value to the space, but I should not be the only person that you go to. Secondly, make sure that and I hit on this in the video yesterday, make sure you're following someone who is grounded in logic and education, and as well as somebody whose viewpoints shift as the charts shift, right? I shared in that video that was released today, I thought Bitcoin at this point would be at 35.5 or above. 35.5 thousand or greater than or equal to 35.5 thousand. Clearly that hasn't happened. The charts haven't panned out that way, okay? You can see we've gotten further consolidation in this weekly range here. Let me just shift to the weekly real quick. We've gotten further consolidation in here below the 200. I wasn't anticipating, but my view has changed based on the charts and the empirical data telling me a story. And so that's what I'm conveying to you. Make sure you're following people that view the markets like that. Those are the value-added people in this space. Let's see what else we got here. I want to get to total 2. Let me just get through the comments real quick, and then we'll get to total 2. He has a Telegram group and continues his preaching there. Today he says, last reminder before he thinks there is a capitulation event to go to 12,000. Again, I just want to state, I will never, ever come out on this channel and tell you something will never happen, okay? You could wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin could be at $100,000. You could wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin could be at $0. There is a probability for both extreme events, no matter how small. There is a probability, of course, for Bitcoin to go to 12,000. I just do not see that happening. I don't see anything in the charts that is raising some huge red flag to me that says 12,000. The only chart that does raise that, the only chart I will backstep that, the only chart that does raise a red flag to me that a larger correction is possible is the Gaussian channel, and I've spoken to that. We spoke to that on the live stream. But again, I'm viewing the fact that it literally just turned green. If you study the history of the Gaussian channel, there hasn't been a time where we re-entered the green channel so soon after it flipped. So I think what we're seeing right now is some momentary volatility that hasn't shaken itself out, hasn't cleared out, and it just so happened to take place after the Gaussian channel has turned green. We're not going to get as significant a correction this time. Evan is filling up the comments. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all these comments. I want to get to the total 2. Let me see. DJ Netronic, I'm not familiar with any of that stuff. I can't comment. I don't even know what the hell peptides are, to be honest with you. So for increased HGH, I'm not saying what you're doing isn't safe. I just haven't done any research on it. I am super, 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 super careful about what I put in my body. So I've never considered doing anything like that. I don't know when I'm older in life, approaching 60, maybe in my late 50s, if that's something like HGH, maybe something that is safe that I could consider to maintain my activity level when I'm much older. But at least for now, I just don't like to mess around with anything. And again, that's not a knock towards you. Maybe it's very safe, but I've never tried any of that stuff. 9:30 to 11, nice. That is a good time. I wish I could actually do that. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I agree, mind over matter. Swimming is one of the most, it's one of the best aerobic forms of activity. I was just having this conversation with a girl the other day. She had very serious reconstructive knee surgery, and I was trying to encourage her that, just make sure you're maintaining your activity levels, and it sounds like she is. But we were talking about the fact that apparently she used to love doing swimming when she had a pool at her last house. But that's a non-impact form of activity, aerobic activity. Swimming is one of the best things you can do. So that's awesome. Okay, a lot of comments coming in here, my friend. Hope we see a squeeze. I love Koosh. I don't know David Hunter or Henrik. I'll have to check them out. I don't know the other two, but I love Koosh. Of course, I had him on the channel. He's a great guy. Just to let you know, not that you wouldn't have thought so, but even, and I have to have another guest speaker on this month. I've been rambling through my head in terms of who could I have come on this month? Who do I want to reach out to? Unfortunately, there was one person I reached out to. I haven't heard back, and I even followed up with him. I never heard back. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a no. But, yeah. But anyway, I had Tony and Kush on here, and both of them are just such nice guys off camera as well. If I got to your level, maybe 2 to 3 days a week would still be enough to maintain. Guys, I go to the gym just to keep level perspective. While I'm not going to share with you how old I am, I can guarantee you I'm older than you think. I have been working out since the age of 14 and a half, nonstop. I have never taken a break. And now, of course, my activity level wasn't like this in the beginning. I go to the gym. I don't take a lot of off days. Don't take a lot of off days. My rest day is going lighter at the gym. I love working out. It's very hard for me to just take a rest day and not do anything. I am at the gym on average for 2.5 hours. Okay, and that's not like fluff. That's warming up, dynamic warm up, hitting the weights, doing some cardio, and then static stretching at the end. On Saturdays, I have no one to answer to. Like I don't have a family, I don't have kids, I don't have a wife. So lately, and I'm a single man. So on Saturdays, man, I'll be there more than 2.5 hours. I take my time. Like I'm there for as long as I want. 21 and 24. Wow, you're only 24, my friend. Well, I got a few years on you. But I love exercising. And I joke with my family. My dad always, he calls it concern. My dad is always trying to call my biological clock and saying I'm going to slow down. So I just like to throw it out to my family every now and then that even at my age, I run circle around kids, what I call kids in the gym. Like I run circles around you, Evan. No offense. People your age at 24, and anyone at the gym I go to can attest to this. I run circles around those people. I am go, 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 go. All right? I may be the age I am, but physically the way I perform, I am 20 years younger than what I am. I perform at a very high level. Very, very high level, but that comes from discipline of doing this for so long. So many years I've been doing this consistently. I've never stopped. If I don't go to the gym, it's not that I feel guilty. I feel like crap. All right. Let's get back to the charts here. I'm surprised so many people have stayed tuned in listening to my rant on working out. That's great. Everybody should exercise and work out. Even if you don't like weight training, I think you should weight train to some degree. But We are going to take a look at the total 2. Now, we haven't taken a look at this chart in a long time. The total 2, the basic premise behind total 2 is this is going to give you an idea of how the entire altcoin market is performing, okay? So this is essentially total. What we're looking at is total, but we're stripping out Bitcoin, right? So Ethereum is in there. Ethereum makes up the majority of this. If you actually look at the market cap, you see how the market cap of Ethereum is at 200 billion, okay? That is literally almost 10 times. It is 7.5 times the size of XRP, okay? That's why when people say, and it triggers people, that XRP is going to flip Ethereum, I don't see that happening. I've given my stance on where I think XRP is. Again, you can be a supporter of a project. You can be a supporter of a project, but also be what we like to call a realist, okay? So I do not see XRP flipping Ethereum. I don't see that happening. In fact, what I have actually argued is that because of increased competition within crypto, I actually see XRP falling in market cap ranking further to the bottom 10. And now, again, if you're an XRP maximalist, that will trigger you. But if you live in the land of reality and you still support the project but recognize there's a lot of other competition out there, like who knows, maybe a Caspa, who knows, maybe an H-bar, that could get into that top 10, yeah, those are my views. But anyway, total 2, a lot of this market cap is overshadowed by Ethereum. So what we can also do is we can take a look at what's called total 3. Total 3 is this total 2 chart. Okay, it's the altcoin chart, but now we remove Ethereum. Okay, now you're looking at every other altcoin, and it gives you a true depiction of a better depiction of how the altcoin market is performing. What I'd like to do is I'd like to create different altcoin market cap charts, removing like top 10, or maybe just looking at top 10 or top 20 or excluding top 20. So I need to look into doing that at some point. It's always been on my list to do, and I just never, have done it. So I guarantee you if we look at, I don't want to guarantee you, there'll be some similarities. Actually, I'm going to take that statement back before I say that. Anyway, let's take a look at what we're seeing here. This is a 2-week, and actually the 2-week, now this is interesting. I didn't actually notice this at first. The 2-week candlestick is set to print this coming Sunday. The new candlestick will print on September 11th, which will be Monday. So this is a 2-week view. Let's go to the weekly. We looked at the total on the weekly. Let's just go to the weekly view here. Let's look at price. Price is king. Now, what I would like to point out, I drew this on a 2-week, so never mind the fact that this is going through candle bodies here. But we did break descending resistance, and all we've done is back tested it. Let me go to the 2-week to further show you this. You see how, again, this is why it's important, no matter what's going on in the day-to-day and it makes you feel emotional, right? Zoom out and keep perspective. It's one of the best things you can do. And even if you zoom out and keep perspective and things totally change and it's bearish, it gives you perspective. You guys need to, throughout this process, whether we're going up or down in value within the markets, you absolutely, it's critical to your success in this market. You need to zoom out on higher time frames. And you can see when we do that, what have we done so far? All we've done on the 2-week chart, we've broken resistance and we've done what we commonly do. I mean, I preach on this channel so many times that when we break descending resistance, we like to back test as support before moving up. Now, if we get the volatility that I'm anticipating, and it looks like, I mean, it could come in this week, but I would highly suspect if it's going to come in, it's not going to come in Thursday or Friday. It's going to come in earlier in the week. So when this candlestick does print, could we get a candlestick that prints here? We get a volatility wick that comes all the way in here, but then it closes back up here. See, that's the importance. Where I would start to get more bearish on price, okay, on the total 2, is if we get a 2-week candlestick that closes in here. Now I'm starting to get bearish, okay? More bearish than I am at the moment. That would not be good. But if we do get some of that sharp, capitulatory, flash crash, come up with any word you want, quick volatility in here, what we could get is a new candlestick that prints here. We get some sharp price wicks into this area, but then we close back up in here, and baby, is that bullish. Baby, is that bullish? As long as we get those candle bodies closing up in here, we're fine. This might be boring as... I got to watch the vulgar now. Again, got to watch the vulgar on the channel. YouTube will demonetize me if I throw out too many swear words, all right? So I have to space them out, and I can't use too many of them. It's ridiculous. I should be able to come on here and say whatever damn thing I want to say, right? Anyway, the point is you can feel as emotional about this market as you want, but if you keep things in perspective, what you realize is, yeah, you know, things are taking a little bit longer than I expected, but we're still bullish in nature given the structure I just spoke to. And you also have to remember that once we start really inclining in value, once we enter a parabola, that thing is going to move quick. It pays to understand what's going on in the charts at these moments on these high time frames. That's why you guys tune into the channel, because if you're accumulating at these levels and things in relative fashion or where I believe they're at, this is going to pay monumental dividends 6 months out from now, even 3 months out from now. This is going to pay huge dividends accumulating at these levels. Let's take a look at the price indicators. We're still on the 2-week. I'm going to stay on the 2-week. RSI is below 50. I want to see it get above 50. MACD is trying to get back up here. We're starting to lose some momentum based on this price action. Stochastic RSI is still above 20. It's at 20. Now, we have the negative cross, 29 below 57. I really don't want to see this thing dip below 20. So I'd like to see if we zoom in on the stochastic RSI, it's this dotted line right here, okay? It's this dotted line at 20. We can come all the way down here, but I don't want to enter this region down here. I want to stay above 20 and continue moving up. That's what I want to see on the stochastic RSI. Okay, let's take a quick look at total 3. Whew, 47 minutes into the live stream. You guys have any questions for me? Bullish as fudge. I haven't had fudge in a long time. Oh, that just brought me back to a bad memory. Oh, life. Why does life sometimes have to be so difficult? Without struggle, right? Didn't I just post about that on Instagram? The struggle is necessary. Sometimes the struggle sucks bad, but you know, we all need struggle, right? Total 3. This is a messy chart. You can tell I was drawing on here a while. This is total 3. This is on the weekly. Very similar sort of story here. Now here, you can see we broke out from the descending resistance. We actually closed below it, which is bearish, but then we quick popped up back above it. And we're just going sideways. What you have to understand with the total 3 chart, okay, is that because this, now what you're doing is you're removing the 2 largest assets. You're removing Bitcoin. You're removing Bitcoin and Ethereum. What you're left with are smaller altcoin projects. And because of that, there's going to be a higher degree of volatility within this chart, right? So there's a little bit more, like if we look at this chart, total 2 is a little bit more clean, whereas total 3 is jumping around a little bit more. A lot more wicks, a lot more sideways chopping action, because we're stripping out the 2 largest market caps, Bitcoin and Ethereum. Not too much else to say on this chart. Stochastic RSI looks like it actually wants to cross up, which is great. It looks like it wants to flatten out here, which is better than the total 2. I guess Ethereum is feeding into that. It'd have to be Ethereum. Maybe we'll quick take a look at Ethereum, actually. I feel like we haven't taken a look at Ethereum in a while. Leave. Price action on Ethereum. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, right now, nothing new to really report. This black horizontal line is for the 2-week chart, so you can just ignore that. It's for the ascending triangle. You can see right now we're just riding this 200. Now, we are below. That's obviously not bullish, but we're sort of just riding in this area with the 50 and 200. It's kind of deciding what it wants to do. Do we want to break to the downside, or do we want to break to the upside? What are price indicators telling us? The stochastic RSI must be very low given the total 2 view and the difference between total 2 and total 3, if anyone caught that. And that is true. The total, you can see, stochastic RSI is at 0. We are flat. We need momentum to pick up. Look at this MACD. Ugh. Right? We need this thing to flatten up and curl up. Yeah, so price is just kind of like, there's no interest right now. There's no exuberance. There's no big buyer stepping in to prop up prices, right? And there's no heavy sellers at the moment. Price is just kind of like not dead, just very complacent. Questions. Does anyone have anything they want me to chart? Well, based on how the live stream has been going, drop me a fitness question. Does anyone have a nutrition question? Workout question? Anything? Before we sign off here, I just wanted to kind of macro look at the market and take your questions. If nobody has any questions, we can call it a day. But how about the OG coins? Yeah, nothing exciting. You bought 1 ETH yesterday. Nice. Yeah, I had tweeted out recently the other day. I picked up a couple Zcash for like $24. Because I like having the OG coins. Some of those OG coins I'm just going to hold on to. I also charted something out on Zcash that looks like on the monthly we could get a decent pop soon on that one. I think there was another chart I had charted out, similar thoughts. That's a big question, Evan. What is my diet? I had actually just commented on this. Someone just asked me a question on this. Let me see. These are all the most common foods that I eat on a daily basis. Maybe that'll answer your question. Yeah, these are the most common foods that I will eat in a day. So, hey, Chris, thank you for tuning in, brother. I appreciate the support. Have a good night, all right? Make sure to keep tuning in. I appreciate it. These are the most common foods that I eat on a daily basis if I had to kind of nail down. I'm trying to think if anything's missing off of here. Lots of greens. So that would be like this, I actually had a super early dinner. Right? Be arugula, spinach, mixed greens, broccoli. One of my favorites are Brussels sprouts. Broccolini, asparagus, green beans, haricot, which are French green beans. I love those things. Sauteing those up in olive oil, just searing them up real quick with some garlic and sea salt and olive oil. Berries, mainly blueberries, cherries. I like dark cherries, but I eat a lot of blueberries, wild blueberries. Once in a while I'll have other fruit, but generally just berries. They're the most healthy for you anyway. Strawberries, I love strawberries. Avocado is like a daily thing. Eggs and egg whites is every single day. Eggs, I consume on average 2 eggs a day. 1.5. I do like 1 or 2. Sometimes I'll do 3. And then some egg whites. Oatmeal, of course. Flax. Got to get that fiber in there. Flax, healthy omega fats as well. Potatoes, I've been trying to incorporate more potatoes into my diet. Olive oil, of course. Olives, I love olives. You name me any olive. Of course, I can't do the blue cheese stuffed olives this month because I've given up the alcohol for this month. So no dirty martinis for me. Right back at you, Chris. Peanut butter. I should put almonds on here. Any nut like cashew. Macadamia nuts are more of a rarity. Protein powder, of course. I don't do a ton of protein powder. Protein powder is just a pre-workout for me. Besides that, it's food, actual food. Chicken, turkey. I do lots of fish, man. Name me a fish and I've had it. I love fish. And seafood, like crab, jumbo lump crab, shrimp, scallops. I see some people eat all at once late at night. Yeah, I don't. No, I do. And I just put out a poll on this. Interesting you ask. Notice what's missing from here. I don't eat red meat. So I would say my one dietary restriction is I do not touch red meat. I think that anything in moderation is fine. I think if I chose to have, generally the guidance is the size of the palm of your hand. I know my grandfather used to speak to this all the time. God rest his soul. Here's his pipe right here. So generally the palm of your hand is the guidance on red meat. And I'm sure if I decided to have a palm size of red meat every day, or not every day, every week, once a week, twice a week, I'm sure it wouldn't be bad for my health. I read enough negative things about red meat that I mean, this was a long time ago. This was literally at the age of, I think, 23. So I've cut that out for many years at this point. So I don't touch red meat. Don't do red meat. That's the only dietary restriction. Don't know what would happen if I went to McDonald's and had a cheeseburger. That might make me vomit. Probably actually I'd be okay. I bet you I'd actually be okay. Maybe I'd get the shits. That would be that'd be about it. But yeah, I have not had a burger or anything like that in a long time, since 23. So this is the question I had asked on Twitter. And it's very interesting to see the response rates. Okay, look at the question. How many meals per day do you eat? And I said I eat 4, pre-post workout, early mid-afternoon. So that's pre-post workout, early mid-afternoon, and then dinner. Okay, so that's 4 meals. And then if I'm extra hungry before I go to bed, maybe I will have a snack. But generally, dinner is it. I am really intrigued that 43% said 2 meals. That's insane to me. And to your point, Evan, I can't imagine just sitting down and eating 1 meal. Now, something I have thought about doing, I have thought about trying intermittent fasting. I've heard really good things about it. I've never tried it. See, part of me has gotten to a point in life where my eating supports my lifestyle and I don't want to mess with it. It's really hard, especially when you interact with enough people. What you find is so many people struggle with their diet. So many people struggle with how much food to consume or not consuming enough food. And I've tried all sorts of different diets in my 20s, mainly in my 20s, even early 30s. And I finally got to this point in life where I'm just super comfortable with how I eat. I don't have cheat meals. If I want to have something, I have something. But I eat healthy, right? And I don't want to mess with that. But I have thought about trying intermittent fasting to see what sort of physical effects it would have on my body. I mean, my body fat percentage is already low enough. It's not like I need to lose body fat. I don't want to get fanatical about it. But based on what I've read, I'm sure I could shed some body fat. Maybe have the abs pop out even more, you know. But I've thought about it. And I've also, not just the physical effects, but I've also read about the positive impact it can have on your immune system, in particular for fasting. So that would be interesting to try. Has anyone tried intermittent fasting? But yeah, very interesting to see the results here. Very interesting to see the results. Guys, I think that's going to do it. It's going to do it. I know I wouldn't mess with you. That's funny. Yeah, I can handle myself, my friend. I can handle myself. I'm only 5'8". But I'm locked and loaded. All right, guys. I don't have anything else. I'm just at this point searching for things to say. So, look, I want to give the rest of your evening back to you, your morning, your afternoon, your nighttime. I appreciate you guys always tuning in. Hopefully some excitement picks up into the market, whether that's to the upside or downside, because I got to tell you, coming out here, I've always said this, coming out as a content creator, and there's nothing exciting to talk about, and we're just getting this, it's challenging. So whether it is this day or this day, I want something to happen in the market because it's a lot more exciting to talk about. So let's hope for that soon. All right? Everyone have a nice rest of your day, and until next time, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Thanks, everybody. Take care of yourselves.